When I was new in recovery back in 2010, I would be sitting in meetings, and I was just at that point where I was just starting to get over that just absolute desire to drink all the time. And I remember sitting in meetings, and these people with 10, 15, 20 years would get up in meetings and they would take a desire chip saying that they had relapse. And I remember sitting there thinking, how in the world do people with that much time go back out? And I've learned that the last few years, not with alcohol, but with food. I've learned that when you stop working recovery, those addictions and those demons, if you will will come back into your life. So we're going to talk about part 2 of how I lost 125 pounds and what has happened now. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Abby, and I'm really excited that you're here with me today. I hope that if you're new here that you will hit that subscribe button just so that you stay with me and you're here for all of our future episodes. And I'm grateful you're here today. So in my first video, I talked about losing 125 pounds, getting to the point of rock bottom. And knowing that it was at rock bottom was the only way that I was going to actually change. And that it was not going to be a change for me. It was going to be God changing my heart and me taking action, but then watching God do the rest as I was obedient to that. So from 2012 to 2020, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was in recovery meetings. I was leading step studies. I was sponsoring people. I was a leader in our group. I was mentoring other leaders. I was doing all the things that I was supposed to do to stay in recovery. And in 2020, I started trying to deal with some resentments that I had from back when we were fostering our boys that I really was struggling with. And I found myself getting further and further away from recovery, right? And as my kids get older, it's always easy to say, well, I have this going on, or I have this going on, or I have 4 kids and I just can't make these meetings. And so as those excuses, as those things start piling up and I move further away from recovery, this is what happens and this is what I should expect, but I didn't. And so the results that came from that weren't good. And so as 2020 went on, I found myself starting to make compromises. Compromises like maybe once a week if I didn't have food ready or if I was tired or whatever it was, that I would go and get pizza on the way home from somewhere. And at home, previously, I probably would not have eaten that, but now I'm saying, oh, well, it's okay because it's not that often, and it's just, it's just tonight. Even though I may eat more than I need to or should once I start. Or we're going out to a restaurant, and normally I would have ordered maybe chicken salad. And now I'm ordering a hamburger and french fries, but it's okay because it's just every once in a while. But those are the things that I started to compromise on. So through most of 2020, I didn't really gain weight. I could tell that things were fluctuating a little more than they previously had, but I hadn't gained a lot of weight. But by Thanksgiving of that year, we went to a little resort with my family for Thanksgiving. And I noticed when I was getting ready for that my jeans that I had, they didn't fit. But the pants that I'd had in my drawer that were always kind of my fat pants, they fit now. And so I just started getting this, oh man, things aren't fitting. I'm uncomfortable. But I'm uncomfortable. I don't really have any reason to go do anything drastic, right? So I get into 2021 and I start feeling worse. I'm starting to have headaches. I'm starting to have stomach problems, stomach pains. I'm starting to, after I wake up, about an hour or so after I wake up, I hit this exhaustion where it's not, man, a nap would be nice, but I physically cannot keep my eyes open. And that just continued to get worse and worse through 2021. And I kept compromising more and more. And that's when two things really started hitting me. One was shame, because I was gaining weight some, and I was starting to yo-yo a little bit back and forth. And I realized that there was a problem again with my eating. But then number two, pride came in. I kept telling myself, I got this. It's okay. I did it before, I can do it on my own. And I just kept going through there. I wasn't ready to actually talk to somebody about how I needed to start recovering over, or that what I was doing wasn't working. I just kept saying, I got this. I'm really good at saying, it's cool. I got this. I don't need anybody's help. And I remember in August, we were getting ready to start school, and my director gave me this really cute t-shirt that all the tutors got from our school group. And by, I don't know, September, early October, it didn't fit me anymore. And so that was discouraging, because that was something that generally I would have worn every Tuesday. And I think, okay, so I'm starting to see some physical effects from this. And then I start, Nicholas has football every day. Starting in August, he has football every single day. And so I go up there and I'm sitting at the fields. And all of a sudden, I didn't really eat dinner at home, so I'm going to go get Whataburger. Y'all, Whataburger is a problem for me. Just going to say it. Every time I talk about Whataburger, it's a problem. But it's so good. So I start doing that. And I'm like, again, it's just these little compromises until they're not little. And until they're not compromises. They're something that I'm consistently doing. Well, for the last 3 or 4 years, I have done 2 3-week fruit and vegetables fasts every year. So I did one in February, and that's when I thought, okay, I'm back. I'm back at where I was. And again, in my head, it started to come more about weight, right? I'm at that weight that I was. And so that's kind of the yo-yo, right? Okay, I got back down, and then I start gaining again. And so then I've gotten to, now it's the beginning of November, and I've said, okay, I really need to do this. I'm really losing it. This is a good time for this. And so I start the fast, and I start with a friend, and I do it so that the first day that I'll be able to eat again is on Thanksgiving. Right? So I do the fast, and it's really hard, but I do it. And I'm thinking after this whole time, okay, after I get off the fast, these are just things that I'm not going to put in my body anymore. And that's in my head, and that's what I'm going to do. But I get to Thanksgiving, And I'm over there with all of my family and actually did really well eating because I knew that my stomach most likely had shrunk, and if I ate too much, I was going to be sick. So I actually did really well eating. But the thought crept into my head. Now remember, I am a sugar addict. That is the one line that I had always drawn. In all of this, I kept thinking, well, I actually haven't relapsed for real because I haven't eaten sugar. And I understand bread and all of those things. I understand they have sugar in them, but I'm talking about, ice cream and cookies and cakes and candy and all of those things, blatant sugar. That was always my line. And so before, even when I hadn't been doing well, even when I, was gaining weight or whatever, I hadn't crossed that line. And so in my head, I kept making this go further and further until, but I haven't crossed the line. I'm still okay. Well, I crossed the line that day. My daughter she makes great cookies and cakes and cupcakes, and she had made these beautiful cupcakes to take over my parents' house for Thanksgiving. So I thought, I can have just one. It's fine. So I had just one that day. And man, I was feeling good about myself. Look, I took just one. And it was pretty good. So, Friday, I don't need anything. I'm good, right? Just had the one cupcake. Saturday, I still have something in my house, maybe another cupcake. Well, I went a day in between, so I'm still okay. So, I have another cupcake. And y'all, by the end of the following week, that quickly, all I can think about is sugar. I start going, we live a little ways out of town, and on my way out to our house, we have a little mini Buc-ee's. Okay, if you don't know, it's like the greatest convenience store ever. So we have a little mini Buc-ee's. So I stopped and I thought, oh, I love those little Debbie cakes. Right? So I get the little oatmeal cream pies. It's really good. So I get my Diet Coke and I get my oatmeal cream pie and I eat it on the way home. And it's not that bad, right? But then the next day I'm like, ooh, I like those. But I also love chocolate and peanut butter, and they have those Nutty Buddy bars there, and I love those. So then I'm getting the oatmeal cream pie and the Nutty Buddy. Well, Buc-ee's also makes these homemade little chocolate mousse with some Oreo crumbles. Homemade there. Those are really good. And so I started eating those every once in a while. So y'all, this goes on. Okay? Within a week, I am not going and getting one oatmeal pie or one Nutty Buddy, or one of those donut sticks, or one of the chocolate mousses. I'm getting all of them. Okay? I would go to, when I was taking my kids to basketball practice in the morning, sometimes I would go to the donut store and I would get 4 or 5 donuts and sit in my car and eat them. I got to the point where I was stopping at Buc-ee's multiple times a day. Y'all, I was there so much and I was getting so much junk. While I was there, I was worried that the people that work there would recognize me and see what I'm eating and how big I'm getting. I mean, y'all, seriously, I'm wondering what the convenience store people are thinking of me. And it got to the point where I am eating all of these things in my car on the way home. And I just start getting back to this just angry because I know this is a very, very bad place for me. But I don't want to do anything about it because, y'all, again, it's hard and nobody wants to do hard things, especially me. And I went in the month of December from 154 pounds to 190 pounds. I completely blew up. I may have been eating between 2,000 to 3,000 calories of sugar a day. In all this time, my mom, she gave me this dress that she'd had from something else, and it's a long black dress, and it is the most comfortable thing that I've ever put on. And you can dress it up, like it have the little pretty stuff, or you can just wear it with flip-flops. It's great, but it's very flowy. And so I got where this is the only thing that fit me. So then it kind of became a joke that this was my uniform because I wore it to church. I wear it on Tuesdays to our homeschool groups, and really those were the only times that I get dressed up anyway. So this was my uniform. This is what I wore because nothing else fit. So in January, I finally realized this is a problem and I can't stay on it. So I start cutting back, and I'm able to stop the blatant eating of the sugar, right? So I am able to start losing a little bit, not much, but I'm not gaining it. Maybe I just stopped gaining it, which was a blessing there. So I stopped gaining, and right around March, I have a friend who is an accountability partner of mine saying that she wants to work the steps. So we start working the steps, and so I start kind of getting this denial in check, and I start working the steps, and things start getting better. And then we lagged in the steps a little bit, and we missed some time or whatever, and then I started gaining it back. But it was I don't know what today is. It was on June 12th, that was my anniversary, that I was back up to 190. And I knew this had to be it. So that was the day of my full surrender. That was the day that I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I have got to surrender. I've got to give my body back to God. And I will say that I'm down to 177 now. I'm feeling so much better. And it's very interesting because I said that I had been having so much pain. Well, 2 weeks ago, I was exhausted every day. My stomach hurt all the time. My body hurt. I felt horrible. And I kept thinking, there is something physically wrong with me. But I thought, okay, I really think it has to do something with food. So I decided I'm gonna cut out all this other stuff, and I'm gonna start eating really healthy, and I'm gonna see what happens. And y'all, in the last couple weeks, it is amazing that my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I don't feel fatigued all the time. And so I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be able to share this with y'all, because somebody out there needs to hear this. Somebody out there needs to know that it's okay to struggle, but we don't have to stay there. And if you are in this place where you just don't know what to do anymore, I'll listen to you. I will share these things so that you understand that you're not alone. So if you need help, contact me. You can get my email from my link in my About page. You can comment down below. let me know, because we are in this together, which I actually really don't like that phrase since COVID, but you are not alone. If you haven't already, that you will hit that subscribe button down there so that you don't miss any videos. And I will see you next time. Bye.